Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Tommy and I just wanted to show you real quick how I hire graphic designers using Upwork.com. And it's a really simple process. It only takes a few minutes. So I'll just walk you through the steps real quick and show you what I did. Now I am not a professional by any means. I have not done this enough to be a pro at this. But what I have done has worked for me, so let me show you real quick. The first step is you go to upwork.com and you create an account, and once you're on your main page you go up here to jobs, and I know I have it cut off at the top of my screen, but it's because I don't want my username shown on my YouTube video as well, and so that's why I'm cutting off the top of the screen here. So you go to jobs and go down to post a job, and then from here you select your category, and I go down to design and creative, and then graphic design right here. And you just follow through the steps here. It only takes a few minutes, really. You can also reuse your previous jobs right here. So if you find a graphic designer you like and you decide you want to hire another graphic designer, you could just go back up to this and bring down your old post and relist it to find another graphic designer. Name your job post. I type something simple like looking for a graphic designer for merch by Amazon t-shirt designs. And then describe the work to be done. I let them know what I'm looking for as far as t-shirt designs. If I'm looking for more illustrations or text-based design, you know what kind of what they're going to be doing for me. I also let them know the programs that I intend to use that they'll need to have access to, such as, you know, if I'm going to be using Dropbox and email to communicate with them, then I want them to have access to Dropbox. So I put that in there as well. And then the specifications that they'll need to be making a design in PNG format, you know, 54 or 4500 by 5400, and you know, I'll put in the specifics and you know how many t-shirts I think I'll be designing, or if it's an ongoing process, or if it's one specific design I'm looking for. That way they get an idea of what they're actually applying for. And I also put price in there as well, what I'm willing to pay. And the price, it will vary if I'm looking for something that's strictly text-based, or if I'm looking for something that is a little more creative, takes more a little more artistic skill, then I'm going to be paying more for that. So it just depends on what designs I'm actually looking for. Attachments, I haven't actually used attachments in this section before. If you have a document saying, you know, that whatever they create you're going to have the rights for, you can put that document in there, or you know, whatever else you want to attach. But I'm actually not using this at this stage in the game yet. What type of project do you have? I use ongoing. That way, you know, it's not just one design I'm looking for, it's multiple. And then where will the work be used? I select other down here. And then where are you in the life cycle of the project? And I have specifications because I have an idea of what I want, but I haven't started it yet, and you know, it'll be up to them to bring it to life. And then if you want to hire one freelancer or if you want to hire multiple, that's pretty straightforward. Start date, I usually pick a couple days out. And then which application should the freelancer have experience with? Oh, also, this is where, you know, if you want them to use Illustrator or, you know, Photoshop or whatever they're going to need. I personally don't select too many here because to me it doesn't matter if they use Illustrator or if they use GIMP or what programs they use, as long as the end result, you know, is an acceptable design. And then rate and availability. I usually pay a fixed price, and I pay a fixed price based on, you know, each design. And again, it depends on how basic or complex the design is. That dictates how much I'm actually going to pay them. I'm usually going with entry level, under $15 an hour. Uh, I'm not, you know, I'm not paying $40, $50 an hour. And then how long do you expect this job to last? I usually select 3 to 6 months. I haven't had anyone usually last beyond that. Either I want to try a different graphic designer. I've had a few that I've been using for longer than 3 to 6 months, but I didn't get them on Upwork. Upwork for me has, for the most part, has been short-term projects. What time commitment is required for this job? I always go with less than 30 hours a week because I'm not hiring somebody full-time at this point. And then, do you want the freelancer to find and apply? Do you want freelancers to find and apply to your job? And then I usually select only Upwork users can find this job. I don't want some random person that, you know, finds it on Google through Upwork to try and apply for the job. I want Upwork users so I can see their profile. I can see what their background is, if they've completed jobs, what success rate they have. And so I only allow Upwork users to see it. And then preferred qualifications. This is the drop down here. I always have 90% job success and up. If you actually go on there, you'll see users with like 60% success rate, and I'm not going to mess with somebody like that. Hours billed on Upwork, I always select at least 1 hour. If somebody has 1 hour, I'm probably not going to hire them, but if they have 60 or 70 hours, I might. But I don't want the new person that's untested and has no completed jobs. I don't want to be their first job that they're attempting. Any location, honestly, I don't care where they're based as long as they do a good job with graphic design. And English level, I select fluent rather than native or bilingual because I want them to be able to understand, what my instructions are when we're communicating back and forth. But as long as they can do a good graphic design and understand what I'm telling them, whether they're fluent or bilingual or native speaking English, it doesn't matter to me as long as they do a good job and understand the instructions and follow them. And then screening questions. On these, I usually put stuff like, have you worked with merch before? What's your graphic design background? And part of this is not only to see what their background is, but to also see how well they communicate and how they write in English, so I know if I'm going to have a problem communicating back and forth with them over the designs that I'm having them create. And then you post your job. From there, you get these applicants, and you'll usually get several. And even though I put what I'm willing to pay, they'll also come back with their requirements. And sometimes they'll be less than I'm actually asking for. Sometimes they'll be more. And then you can negotiate from there. For one shirt I posted, I was looking to pay, I believe it was more in depth than I was looking to pay. It wasn't too in depth. It was just a little more graphic design, not just strictly text. And I was going to pay, I think, $12 to $15. And somebody came back with an offer of doing it for 80, and they weren't even in the same ballpark as me. That was kind of a waste of time, but you'll get lots of applicants to choose from, and then there you can screen them. You can ask additional questions. You can Skype with them if you like. I personally haven't Skyped with anyone. I just do it strictly through email and messaging. But anyway, that's how you post a job on Upwork. And I followed the same process when I was hiring my virtual assistant as well. So hopefully you can take this information and apply it to your own merch experience. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.